Currently at CES 2025, and I've been walking around trying to find the coolest vehicles, and I've narrowed it down to 3. Behind me is a hexacopter that's modular and fits in the back of a moving vehicle called a land aircraft carrier. The second one is a car that's made with solar panels and can recharge with the sun up to 40 miles per day. And the third one, my mom always said that I would be cleaning my room for the rest of my life, but it turns out she was wrong. Here are my 3 favorite futuristic vehicles from CES 2025. Unlike other concept vehicles here at CES, this one is real and actually flies around. There are 2 circular turbofans on the sides that help the hexacopter rotate around its central axis while flying, since this machine does not have a tail rotor like on a normal helicopter. It's a modular flying car. Because it's not technically classified as a helicopter, you don't exactly need to know how to fly it either. They're telling me that there's waypoints on the display that you can click and just hover at any point on a map, which is kind of fun. The land aircraft carrier portion looks kind of like a Cybertruck, minivan, and dually all had a baby. Not only do we have front wheel steering up here, but also both of the rear wheels turn for the rear wheel steering. Coming around here to the back, we can see how cozy the hexacopter is inside of the vehicle. If you have any additional luggage besides the hexacopter, it's probably not going to fit. And then over here, 2 more doors. It has 600 miles of range with an 800-volt battery underneath. And the best part about this is that the hexacopter is electric, so when it goes inside of the back, it can charge up about 6 times. So if you're off-roading and you reach the end of the road, you can now take off into the sky because this is a land-based aircraft carrier. They're planning on delivering to customers next year in 2026, and the hexacopter over there is actually flyable. That one has been up in the air with the founder of the company, which is incredibly impressive. The future we saw in those cartoons all those years ago is finally here and alive right now. The name of the company is Xpeng Arit, and they have the largest flying car company in Asia, and they're releasing this whole package for $300,000 in 2026. The $300,000 price point is a bit more reasonable than I was expecting, since a nice RV or sailboat costs about the same. This is kind of perfect for the kind of people who have kind of too much money. Because the energy density of battery is so much less than like gasoline or jet fuel, the distance that this can travel, it's more for short distances than long distances. You're not going to travel between states. It's more like park at the bottom of the mountain and then go visit the top of the mountain for a minute and then come back and put your helicopter into the back of your vehicle. The cabin is very minimal to conserve weight, obviously. There's a joystick in the center and a display in the front. That's also a touchscreen to set waypoints where the helicopter or the hexacopter can find automatically, taking you and a passenger anywhere you want to go. Personally, I like keeping my feet on the ground, but I'm told that there is redundancy built into the propellers, meaning safety is a consideration, and the hexacopter can probably fly around without a few of them. Xpeng Arit already has 3,000 reservations, so people are definitely interested.
We've seen you on YouTube.
How's life? One of the craziest vehicles I've seen getting released in the first half of 2025 is a robot vacuum mop with a robot arm attached to it. And at first I thought this was just like a prototype and it wasn't going to be real, but it's actually here in real life cleaning up and picking up the floor and organizing it in a basket while it vacuums and mops the house. The Roborock Saros Z70 has a foldable 5-axis mechanical arm that can lift about 300 grams, and for my American audience, that's about the weight of 2 baseballs or a single Big Mac. And the whole package still fits inside a regular-sized robot vacuum mop combo. The OmniGrip, as they're calling it, is equipped with sensors, so it won't attempt to lift anything too heavy, and has a safety release if it grabs something it's not supposed to. It'll also stop moving the arm if it bumps into something, and there's a built-in LED light, so you can pop up that arm and patrol your home in the dark from the mobile app like some kind of droid out of Star Wars. The Roborock Saros Z70 can detect up to 158 individual items so far, and can decide where to stick them. Socks in the basket, tissues in the trash, and fingers crossed it doesn't mix the items up. I'll have to do a full test when it's released later this summer. The arm can also be controlled manually from within the app, so if you want to try picking things up for yourself without getting off the couch, that's always an option. I'm excited for this one. We don't have any official pricing on the Saros Z70 just yet. I imagine with having a full complete robot arm in the top, it might be fairly pricey, but we do know it is officially coming out in the first half of 2025. I will leave a link in the video description so when pricing does become available, there's an easy place to find it. This third machine, aside from, the actual invention of the wheel itself, is probably the most practical invention ever invented. One of the vehicles that I've been following for a few years now is the Aptera, which is a solar-powered three-wheel vehicle that can recharge 40 miles off of the sun every single day. It's basically like having a motorcycle that never needs gasoline because sunlight is free. And they finally, this year, might just very well have a few of their vehicles rolling off the production line here in 2025. Behind me is the production intent vehicle, meaning the vehicle that they're going to be delivering to customers in nearly every single way. This is the same one that's going to go through all of the testing, like the crash testing, and is made with the production-ready solar panels on the hood, dashboard, top, and tail, as well as the internal components, which is actually the world's largest forged carbon fiber piece that's in any production vehicle ever. The same kind of technology that the McLarens are made from is what's making up this Aptera. The weird shape of the Aptera gives it its lowest drag coefficient of any production vehicle ever, 0.13. And since it has three wheels, it's actually classified as a motorcycle. But since there's an enclosure above the driver's head, you don't actually have to wear a helmet while driving it. If for whatever reason the hood did get damaged, these panels are modular, so it can just be popped off and swapped with a new one. Same as the tailgate back here. All of these can just be replaced. Look at all that bed space. A few things that's changed since I took my test ride a couple years ago is that they've moved from having hub motors in each of the tires to having a central onboard motor and drive shafts that go out, I guess they would be CV axles that go out to the tires. This is smart in two ways. One, because now there are less parts to repair, but also there's no high voltage wires running out to the wheels, which made me a little nervous last time, especially if they come out with an off-road version of the Aptera, which is what I'm holding out for. Dope.
Awesome. Here's your seatbelt, man.
So right here we have the solar input, so 30 watts, and we can see like how many volts and amps and stuff the panels are bringing in while the vehicle is actually driving. Along with being extremely energy efficient, the Aptera is surprisingly economically efficient, with their base model starting at $28,000 and the maxed out version clocking in at around $45,000. The maxed out variant will have 400 miles of battery range and a 0 to 60 of about 4 seconds. All the variants, of course, are able to recharge by the sun while driving. Aptera's been on my radar for about 3 years now. With 50,000 pre-orders, I'm super excited to finally see this project come to the finish line, which is production. The solar panels on the hood, the top, and the tail add up to about 700 watts worth of power. Obviously, if you're driving more than 400 miles, you can still plug it in through the NACS port in the rear, the same charging port that Tesla uses. And there you have it, 3 vehicles that should be coming out in the very near future. I'm excited about them. I'll leave links in the description if you want to learn more. And thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.